Yes, bankers, everything that's on this side of the matrix, we have to teach ourselves, do we want to be in this matrix or do we want the new world? Do we want to have freedom and God's abundance? God's handling this. And, as what Bo Pony says, there's going to be, millions and millions that maybe won't make it, unfortunately, because they're going to be so traumatized. Well, the people that are going to be most affected are the people that are the closest to their religion, because it's not what they said it was. Everything's just a big lie. Everything's been manipulated over the years. I mean, let's look at it this way. And I just kind of reverse things a little bit. And I mean, there's things that you pick up, and it kind of sticks in your head. The rich, back in 1901, it was only the rich that had cars. Everybody else had horses. Now, everybody's got cars in 2016, and it's only the rich that got horses. That's just something to think about, right? So, I mean, we went down and we were sucked down this matrix rabbit hole through the Industrial Revolution, and now we're going to go into this technology revolution, and you're going to be able to have a choice. But the difference this time is that you're going to have the freedom to make your own choice. And yes, we do all have powers. We all have different powers, and those powers are about to be released. Okay, so everything is going to go on that you're thinking about will manifest. Things that you'll be able to do. You'll be able to do a lot of amazing things, psychologically and physically. All right, so prepare yourselves for that. Yes, I hope all is true. Been waiting a long time. So as everybody have. It's not easy to clean up a reptilian planet. When they claim that they were here first, but we've won the war. I could just get on my knees and be thankful for the fact is that we won this war against the lizards. That stand 9 feet high, right? But we did it, and that just shows the diversity and the strength of the humankind. We're still not finished. But that shows how powerful we are as humans. We take on 9-foot lizards. Doesn't that kind of send chills down your spine? Sure does to me. I'm going, whoa, how do they do that? Because we have advancement. We have so much advancement in our republic right now that all the Chinese can do and all these other countries can do is sit there with their mouths hanging open saying, how in the hell can they do that? That's what's going on right now. Don't think for 1 minute. People, tend to forget that all these bad actors that are out there, years and years ago, and they are actors now, they all had boot monitors or what do you call those big boots on. They were being monitored. It was kind of like house arrest. They're all capitulated, and this whole thing is a masterful, tactful execution to tear ourselves away from our shackles. It's an amazing feat what we've accomplished. So let's enjoy the moment. I know everybody's suffering. There's been 60,000 new millionaires in a month. And that's because a lot of the bond people are cashing out, and they're new millionaires because they did things right. They followed the scripture. They were not out there harming people, and it's going to be the rich, most giving people on the planet that are going to receive the most money. The more things that you do, the people that have never done anything, have caused people harm and headache and everything else in their life, and done things to hurt people, are not going to be a part of this new world. Okay, they're going to be living in it, but they're not going to be a part of the wealth. Okay, there's a lot of wilderness in the Netherlands this week. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, wildfires. Really? Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly. It could be self-starting. We're just British Columbia, which is, the size of whatever you want to call it, the size of Texas, if not bigger. And it's, there's a lot of bush here. And, we're just into April now, right? Or at the end of May, or just in the beginning of May. And we got to watch those fires as well. It could get really, really bad. So hopefully this won't happen. Well, if you want to pay taxes, that's strictly up to you, but there is no tax department anymore. I mean, our commanders told everybody himself that, you're all going to get it back, everything. Do you think bank managers can see if the government has deposit our birth money? Yes, they can. Yeah, but they're under an NDA, and those are only the good bankers. Yeah, we can't see it because they're under an NDA, not to release it, not till they're given the go. That's what's happening there. Is there such thing as too much dinar or dong? No. Let me put this into perspective. There's going to be billions and billions of dollars to the righteous, because they want the planet to be healed up. The people that aren't righteous, that have gone against God, that are not believing this or anything, they're going to be left in the dust. Okay? It's only going to be the righteous, and you're going to get mountains and mountains of it. The more you do, the more you help the planet and give out to the needy and whatever you're doing as considered humanitarian work, the more money you're going to get. It's just going to start flowing. Okay, I've got numbers here, right? Now, into the technology. Cue cards will have 5D imagery on it. So when you open up a cue card, okay, you'll do that, whatever, a screen will come out, okay? It'll be CGI screen. It'll come out on the side of it. And things will start popping up on it as you hit the card. There's going to be so much stuff. The technology is going to be off the charts, okay? Every credit card, bank card has already been taken over by the military, okay? Every taxpayer is going to get a tax refund of $83,000, okay? When everything goes back, even when things go back to 1995 at that time, okay, or 1955, okay, 83,000 will seem like several $million. Okay, you'll be able to buy a house. You'll be able to buy a house, a $3 million home, for $100,000. Okay, $113,000. That's the way it's all going to be worked out. Okay, the Zimbabwe is a bond. Okay, and the bonds are only going to be used for humanitarian purposes and to clean up the world. Okay. Okay, now, recaptured assets so far reach, listen to this one, $9 trillion. Hidden wealth, okay, that's the hidden wealth that is stored right now, is $112 trillion in assets. Blows me away. Each citizen at that time, once there's clarification, will receive $838,000 with at the time that everything goes back to 1955. So that'll be like $50 million. Now, like I said, you go to the debt clock, you go to the Q board, go study and play with it, and play with the pages. If you roam around, there's other pages there you can get into. Yes, I say wow too. It's absolutely mind-blowing, right? this is all good news. I mean, we should, never answer any DMs on my platforms. And yes, well, yes, the thing is, there's a lot of scammers out there. And when you start receiving all this funding, you're going to be targeted. So be very, very careful. You can get into wealth management. There will be wealth management planners out there. But, like I said, it's pretty easy to set up your own, your own foundation, your own trust fund, okay, for your family, and keep you as an executor, or keep your children as an executor, or whatever. You can put you on as an executor. No, that way nobody can get a hold of your money. Everything's on the QFS board. If you are worried about that, then take some of the money out of that and start investing in silver and gold. And then, that's physical, and then take it, because that would be a store of wealth, and go bury it somewhere. Build yourself a bunker. You'll have the money to do everything that you want to do. These are very, very exciting times right now. We certainly have the real estate, to do it. And you just have to go out and buy the real estate. So when the market crash, you're going to find out, I believe this year, the market's going to crash at least 50%, which you're already starting to see now. I mean, it's already down almost, 25% now, right? Our historic trust fund contains an amount of money with 43 zeros. Well, that's just, these are, those are trust funds that are either there's so many different trust funds usually coming out. I know that the Chinese elders have taken over the Wells Fargo, and they're starting to throw mountains of money into that. But of course, we're watching this play out. This is not an easy task. We're changing every fundamental, given freedom to 209 countries on the planet. So I'm quite comfortable to wait. I'm trying to enjoy the journey, watch the show, and I'm learning as I go. Where everybody's learning that want to learn as we go, and it's only going to be the negatives, such as Pam, King, and others like that out there that will not be part of this new world, because when they start throwing harsh, negative, distorted things that hurt people, God knows that, and God's going to not plenish them with fortune. It's unfortunate that we have the NPCs out there. They've been brainwashed, and they're full of hate, and it's just the way things are. And they're all being separated out. It's kind of like calling the herd right now, and it's only going to be the righteous that move that move forward into our new beautiful world. When do you think that we will see money and help us in Australia? I think it's coming very, very quickly. Definitely this year. We're only into May now. Let's just hang in there. Try to hang in there. Things are going to start changing. They're changing right now. Okay, it's just that it's not getting to everybody out there on a personal basis, but things are happening big time. Australia, you will not be missed. Our loving patriots there, you will not be missed, nor the great patriots in New Zealand. Okay, you're very, very loved amongst the patriot family throughout the world, and very respected. They're targeting the vulnerable people. Yes, they are. Yeah. Now to set up bogus trusts and whatever, that's what they're trying to do. Now you could do this. I would do it after, when you get the funding, because the QFS, there's there's the CBDC, which, a lot of the normies will go into, or because they won't know the difference, and they're going to get hammered. And that's why they're not getting any money, because that money that they get, that gets stolen from them, because they don't know, would only be funding the cabal. So, anybody that, is stupid enough to put their money, that's why they're not going to receive it. They're not going to have money to put in for investment into the CBDCs. Do you understand what I'm saying? But we, the righteous that do know that, swing into the QFS, or everybody that becomes a, part of the QFS, which is the quantum financial system, is going to receive abundance. It's just really that simple. You're going to receive money because it's in the QFS. If you're in the CBDCs, you're not going to receive any money because they're not, other than you're going to lose money, but it's only going to be your own money that you're going to lose because you've been, very, very compliant to them, and you haven't learned your lesson yet. And you're not learning your lessons, you're going to be, you're going to be penalized. And that means money being ripped away from you and all your savings and stuff like that because you weren't listening. That's the way it has to go. And we have had 15 years, 16. It's been 10 years to work this, to understand and to learn. That's more than most bachelor degrees. Okay, so we've had, a lot of help along the way and to listen to, and all we had to do was listen and have an open mind. And if there's a lot of people under there that have not had that, open mind concept, they're going to fall into the pit, and it's not a pretty pit. That's why I'm saying I'm so thankful that there's so many beautiful starseed light working patriots out there that have, come to the forefront, knowing what is going on, understand what's going on, and that's why you are a force to be reckoned with. Nobody can touch you. No entity can touch you because you are in a higher vibration. It's only the people that, that are, weak and vulnerable, that don't have the concept to understand what's going on, that have maybe, are all Kool-Aid up, that live in fear, that will be loosed on whatever negative energy that is left out there. I feel bad for them too. But until they wake up, it's all about, this whole thing's about consciousness. This isn't a war. There's a war going on, in the subterranean. There's a war going in over above us, but we own the land. This is our space. This is our consciousness that brings light and love to where we are and our inhabitants. And, the demons know that. If everybody gets the funding, why would they try to scam us? Well, this is all part of the exposure, though. Okay? Not everybody's going to get the funding. That's the whole thing. They were evil before. They did nefarious operations inside the Matrix before, which exposed them. And now they don't, unless they get down on their hands and knees and repent and say, I'm going to change my life, my world, my whole persona, whoever I am, and I, please forgive me for, for what I've done. They're going to continue in their own miserable life. Yeah, there's a lot of people, remember what Dolores Cannon said, where she took a picture, or, it was a platform, I guess, but there was showing of two worlds, okay? And the one world was kind of brown, and the other one was, blue and white and beautiful. That is the consciousness being split. It's not a physical two worlds or whatever. It's just the consciousness of that being split. And we are, the good people, are going to have our shackles, the righteous are going to have the shackles being torn off, and you're going to be having such abundance, not just to, fight poverty, not to just, fight pollution, but you're going to fight evil as well. Because you're going to put, you're going to want to do things to help others. Every time we go out there and hug somebody or give them happiness and stuff like that, that's one less person that the demons can loose. There's millions of us out there. I'm not just, one person out there. You think of all the podcasters out there that have, you know, many, many followers and all of them. I mean, the whole community, our family community it's a movement. Yeah.